Lima Councilora, MMCs and part-time councillors, board chair, Baumambi. You know, working with you makes me not to want to be a chairperson of the board, because you do give me this responsibility at times. So there's no need for me to fight and ensure that, you know, you are being removed as a board chair. Thank you very much for giving me an opportunity to communicate the message of support. Mona Madibeng local municipality. Me saw little team ya hao. Other government entities here, there is a representative from CIDB. Yeah. Baumaseko, linna ke tlo ithuta Setswana kajeno. Because ge re sa ithuti Setswana, ho ka etsahala hore re ska fumana thuso. Tlamehile hore maleme ana re wa bolele hela hohle. Wa re tlo tsima ho communicate. I speak one of the Nguni languages. Now, Chair, in interacting with the Tswana-speaking people, we were in a certain meeting. Now, this other participant responded in Tswana, and he said, Nyara. And in my language, that is something else. Lo mntu uthi ndenze lento apha kule ndawo ndikuyo. Then I said, no. I went to one person and said, hey, harinya uring, are no uri no. I said, okay, no. I get okay. Business formations present, political parties present here. I see logos of political parties. You are recognized. You are recognized. Now, my responsibility here is to give you a message of support, Honorable Mayor. And just few things eradiates SANRAL. Mesol Uchilo Monari SANRAL is a government entity, and what we are doing as SANRAL, the job that we are doing as SANRAL, we are doing it on behalf of the Department of Transport under Honorable Minister Fikile Mbalula, who is reporting to the President of the Republic of South Africa. Now, SANRAL has got policies, and we can't be in competition with the government, because that competition will be skewed and it will be a competition that is not warranted. You can't compete with the one that is leading you. Re re he mona SANRAL a holo o na le transformation policy. The reason why we came up with the transformation policy is because really ra bona hore the previously disadvantaged and oppressed will remain where they are. Then there are no as a policy so that we are able to transform the industry. This industry was once dominated by white companies only. And every black person you saw then was a worker. And that is the industry then that did not employ women. When the unions fought for women to be employed as well, Rabiri ba fumana che ba tshwere dituku tse khibedu, red flags only. There's no skill in stopping, in showing someone to slow down. Utawafumana bomme ba tshwere dituku tse khibedu, ba ntse ba re dikoloi ha di eme, dikoloi ha di etseng. That is not a skill. Then as SANRAL we said, this policy must be able to take those that are at the bottom end to at least somewhere. We said we want to, as I've said, the industry was dominated by 5 companies. I'm not going to mention their names because I'm not working for them. But they used to be called Big 5. Now, this board said we want to produce as many Big 5s as possible so that the industry ibonse hore is in South Africa. It represented the demographics of our country. Without that, the situation will remain the same. And we also said, because the industry itself was dominated by a certain race, let us open ways for others. Una grade 1, una grade 2, grade 3, and so on and so forth. Those are our people who are at the bottom end. And we said, how do we assist them? Because the ultimate goal is to multiply and reproduce, and produce more Big 5s. Rather no. You see, ge o na le mosebetsi wa grade 1, at least participation chair must be for grade 1s. re ska o fumana o le kwa hole o grade 9 re o fumana o so le mo fatshe o tlo lwana le ba ba grade 1 bona hore ba tla hola jwang motswallaka he re bolela nnete he because when you've got everything now utlo lwana when we are confronted with such questions we must be able to say no, this is our policy, this is what the policy guides us to do. It's not something that we woke up, rekwatile kapo le re lorile hampi, then no. And the other thing, Chair Ericho, ha ke le kgoneng hore le etse joint venture, the joint ventures. Ha ke re ka Setswana sa geso re kopano ke matla. Now ha le sa kopane le nagana hore le tla ba le matla jwang o tla ikemela mo la o sokola o lwantshe o mong a isukulelang haholo ka mo le yena a shebe o mong a ntsa sokola. There will be no growth. What is going to happen is competition that is not going to lead to any growth. I want to hear Executive Mayor, what I know ke gore ma-Africa Borwa are very good at destroying each other. You know, people do take time planning on how to destroy this one of their own. We are saying at SANRAL, this cake is too big, Executive Mayor. We can be able to share. And if there is a bigger piece that is still remaining, we can be able to work together as a joint venture. Now, if Risahoni, I can assure you, to work together, there is no government that will ever satisfy those who don't want to work together. Because you are saying no, we get a bit here. And we're encouraging, Chair, our business formations and business people, these aspirant billionaires, Hori, if you want to be taken serious, you must comply with the legislations of the country. You can't wake up tomorrow and demand that you should be given a tender by SANRAL. If you're not given that tender, then you go and block the road. You go and bend the existing road. Even if Ribatla Houtusa, we can't, we can't. At least your business must be registered. It must be a business. Ebon salang hore ibatla go ya pelenyana wa bona. Iseng yena business ya o dula o demand, o yeme khoning o demand or no, if mokete o ifumane why le saine yena. It can't work like that, batho ba geso. It can't work like that. Re a kopa tšhelete e teng. There are projects. We must work together so that we can grow, so that we can, democracy is monate. We can feel hore ho monate jwang go lokologa. if we are not working together and we are not able to assist each other, we will not feel that we are free. The last thing, Chair, that I want to leave behind here. Honorable Mayor, we are strongly recommending that anyone who gets a tender from SANRAL at least spend money buying your equipment. You can't be in construction a big one, and then you don't have even a wheelbarrow. That car is not going to assist you to construct a road. Buy equipment so that he utruwa from this tender who apply who in. You must be saying, at least I've got a bakkie, I've got a shovel, I've got, a wheelbarrow, I've got, a number of equipment, the tools. Now, if you don't have those, you can't convince people that you've got this big car that you bought, got charity tender if now you still want to come and, tender and buy another car. Spend your money in machinery and equipment. Then you buy yourself a car, because I get a little rebella hore. Ureke uskare ka koloi tsamaye ka maoto. Ha ke re bano ba hirileng ba o bitsa legoa, ba o bitsa mphathi. Now o tlabele hore o ska tsamaya ka maoto. But koloi must not be a priority. Priority must be tools to do the work. If you don't buy tools, 80% or so of your income will go to those who have tools. Because you'll have to hire the machinery, you'll have to hire that, you'll have to hire that. How na ibona profit? Then o tla qetella o sona le pelo e bohloko. Ya hore ke a bereka ba nropa. Kanti it's you who doesn't plan. Re a kopa tswetswe ha re planning, ha re sebediselane mmoho, re etse show hore tswelo pele re a e bona ka mahlo, ebile le rona re a e paka. Ke batla hore he chair le executive mayor and the leadership, that is the shortest message that we can give to this gathering, because meso le bule ka di bursaries di teng ko SANRAL, di teng ko SANRAL di bursaries tsa bana ba batlang ho bala ha re ba kgothatseng ba sekolong, so that it tlo ba batho ba betere ho feta rona in future. Thank you very much, Chair. Re kopa hore re sebetseng mmoho, re mamele di presentations. Questions are going to be answered. But please, our request is, don't reject the answer that you did not expect. We're going to give you answers. If it happens that the answer that we give you doesn't satisfy you, I now change at least today. What you could do best is to request us to go when we review our policies. Make an input that, please, when you review your policies, consider this one. But the answers that we are going to give you today are honest answers, are not answers that will make some of you happy. Also are answers that are going to make some of you happy. Please work with us. We are here to create jobs for the people of Madibeng, local municipality. Thank you, Chair. Ke a leboha.
Okay, so I just wanted to add something that I didn't list previously. SANRAL also has a transformation policy. So as part of the transformation policy, SANRAL is very clear that we will only do business with 51% black-owned companies. So we also know there is fronting. So to eliminate fronting, what SANRAL has done is when you bid for sub-tenders, for the main tender, it's clear. You can be anywhere in South Africa applying for the main tender. In terms of subcontracting, when you submit your tendering documents, the address that is listed as your locality on CIDB, on CSD, will be the address that will be used to determine your locality. So we don't want people that will front to say, Muthu dula Pitori, but is going to say he's local from Madibeng, because we are going to use that address as listed on CIDB and the one listed on CSD. And that is what we will use for locality. So what happens is when there's subcontracting opportunities, we do give people that are local more points than the ones that come outside. So if these opportunities are intended for Madibeng as a local municipality, you will get more points than somebody that comes outside of the boundaries of Madibeng. But with that said, I still need to emphasize that it still doesn't guarantee that you will get it, because cost is what ultimately determines who gets it. But I'm still saying further to that, if you are a local subcontracting company sitting here and you do have a company registered, for you to do business at SANRAL, you must be registered on the CSD, CIDB, and SARS tax compliant. But you are sitting here and you have a company. I'm urging you, because you have an advantage because you are local, please go and do your market research in terms of pricing. Because, let me give you an example. Go Ventersdorp, the local market rate for a tipper truck is 500 rand. Mutuha tenderer is charging us 2,000 rand and is forcing us to give it to him because he's local. But then there is Go Potchefstroom, somebody who attended for 600 rand. So who do you think we will give it to? I said in the beginning, we are guided by the guidelines of our government. National Treasury says the cheapest quote must be given. So hence I'm saying you are seated here, you have a company. Please go and do your market research, because we also have the market rates. You can't force us to give you, if something is costing 500 rand, then you are forcing us to give it for you for 2,000 rand. I did say these are public funds. We are audited. We are held accountable. So I need to account, the project manager needs to account, SANRAL also needs to account as a whole. And it's your tax money. We can't be reckless about money. We already have money issues in South Africa. And we have service delivery issues as well. We've got so much little money and we've got so much work to do in South Africa. We need to stretch the little that is there already. So let's be responsible together. So I'm saying you are sitting here, there's also transformation. As part of transformation, we have signed MOUs with certain companies. So I want to help you as a local company. I'm saying to you, you got a subcontracting tender, but you don't have capital, and you are seated here. What we have done on your behalf, SANRAL has gone ahead and signed MOUs with certain companies like Barloworld, Caterpillar, Crush Tech, Bell, NAVB. NAVB is there to develop SMMEs, showing you how to run a profitable company. all these other companies that I've listed, like Bell, Caterpillar, Barlow World, Crush Tech, they own the big equipment that we need on the roads in order for you to implement a project. So what you do is you take your subcontracting tender document, you go to any of them, they will give you the equipment on a rate that was negotiated on your behalf by SANRAL. And it's a rate that you will not get independently so. So SANRAL is saying we want to transform the industry because we've heard you crying, you've been saying, SANRAL, for all these many years, you've only been doing business with certain type of people. So we are saying, let's transform the industry. And in that way, we are saying we want to equip you so that we can transform the industry together. So that's part of our transformation policy. With that said, I will then ask, where am I on my program? Okay, so I'm now going to ask MMC Mukwena to come and introduce the executive mayor who will give us his message. Thank you very much. You can applaud for MMC Mukwena.
Clean medicine happy baholo. Na America gaga jeno gare ko munyani. Introduction. Why? And we regularly TV saying Baba Mbita Papa Action. Baba Mbita Mr. Service Delivery. Beke le bake. Service Delivery ko batho. Kera Majoro wa rona, the Honorable Executive Mayor and Tate Councillor to. Are meleng re mo fe matsogo ba gaetso.
Thank you very much. Thank you, the program director, the chairperson, SANRAL, Tati Mahambi, boto ya rona go tswa go SANRAL, the councillors, in particular the speaker in absentia, the single whip, MMC Mukwena, CDWs, Local Business Forum, South African Women in Construction, Disability Forum, NGO, Farmers Forum, Transport Forum. May take this opportunity, Administrator, in our present to greet Baagi ba Madibeng. And indeed, SANRAL is an entity to government and a reliable entity. But the workman relationship between the municipalities, when SANRAL was introduced, it was very sour. And precisely because of we want to engage and engage before the engagement. I'm very happy today about this exercise. It's a fair and open exercise to the people, in particular the business SMMEs of Madibeng local municipality. It's upon you, after ntwa e kgolo e lekile la elwa ka Pampunek R511 that will overlap to Tabazimbe Road and other roads that was constructed by SANRAL, provincial government, your bridge until to your Matiti, Linzelelwa, let's achieve what they are presenting it today. I want them to practice what they preach. We don't want anybody to stop the project. We want to see an empowerment out of these projects. Out of the Pampu neck, we cannot even finger point one of you. Or tlareng o ke mohumi, o editswe ke Pampu neck, re tla be re yaka. So we want to see it from what we are going to commit today from Madibeng local municipality, business people forum. And indeed, in business, there are a lot of risks. And risks are manageable. So answer to the issue of risk. If how qualify, how comply the necessary requirements, don't lobby anyone to assist a battle motor qualifier. Don't do that. Tlogela o tla bo o lokisa o mongwe mo supporte a tswelle pele. That particular person will never forget you. O tla o gopola le ka tsatsi la motlholo. And we are saying to these projects tse di tlang tsa SANRAL as an entity of government, it must not just be mouth talk projects. It must be the project that will create jobs, and in particular not only for business forum, but again for our people. I will therefore speak to the councillors even tomorrow, babatlao, gore ke ne ke le party ya SANRAL meeting ono tsere karolo ko municipal. Therefore, ha re tla re kgetha di PLC, re kgethe di PLC tse di na le kutlwisiso le batho. E seng PLC tse di tlo batla o tendera ka fa ile PLC a distepa motho o tshwantsa tendere. Interest ya gago a ene interest ya gago, ha re tlo lwela di interest o le one o tsa dilo tse 10 ga go kgonagale. And this socio-economy, after I saw in Pampunek, Harbula project, Pampunek, the minister Mbalula was there. One of the things that minister will want to see is to empower our own black society. Not necessarily saying we are isolating the majority, but we are saying, but waborena, ke khale, ntse ba kharatla, ke khale ba matha, o bua nnete chairperson, ke khale ba tshwara direct flag. It's now time that we are saying over about red flag. They're having CK, those CK, they must now work, they must deliver and deliver a good product for their kids, for their family, so that South Africa must grow. We are facing a critical, crucial month of, it's not a year, of 2021, which it's actually an level COVID. And the issues are we are not even aware that the election, it will be on the 1st. Now, all of us here got an interest. Ya ba tlo bona hore political party ya gage e tswela pele. But nna ke batla bona African National Congress e tswela pele because of I'm the deploy of the African National Congress. Therefore, I don't want SANRAL to mislead this municipality about what we are going to present today. I want you to give the hope and commitments to the people, and tomorrow we must be proud of few of them who have empowered them. That is why today they look alike. They are like before. But change le kala ya letlalo, kala ya skin. After this project, re batlo ba bona. Re batlo bona ba tshwana le Ruben Nelson le Mayelo Bone. I'm very happy we have engaged after I assumed the office of as an executive mayor ka issue of bazar. Young people approach me, bare majoro re batla di bazari. Because of this municipality is an executive municipality, but bear in mind, our municipality is still created go grade 4, irrespective of the gradings, because of some technical issues, were not grade 6 municipalities or type of municipalities. We engage SANRAL on that matter. That is why today we are saying to you, don't only look more issuing your tendering, but you must also look more issuing your scholarship. You must also look more issuing your bursary. You must spread the message. I want to hear more December more after the election. Let's say bana by 3 by 4. Baba pass it in pila. Reba introduce our SANRAL. Re baba ready as Madibeng for the bursary. SANRAL ba ise skolo. I don't think these kids will forget this regime yalona. You must be the regime e ratang bana e tshwanakana le bo Nelson Mandela, but not only the regime that is selfish e leng hore e ja ile wane ha o jole wane o tla khora ha o sno khora wa robala batho ba feta ba ilo tsa moruo fetang o cause no nagana ro fitlhile o khamutetse le disopo. So I'm very happy about the bursary that is brought by SANRAL to our municipality, and I therefore appreciate it. I am saying to both municipality, business forum, the PLC. I saw you, my vendor. You are still the PS R511. Good. Go and grab, and you must listen intensively the presentation. No need for you to fight today. Ka le tseba ne ke tlo le supa ka mabitso gore khono nke ba le teng fa nke bo golo ewa a o isa ditafole khono a re batle presentation e wa itse why ba re the executive mayor ba tlola di interview ke gopetse leadership ka re hey o ka re go a tshosa e re nna ke ska ya pele ba if le ka mpitsa cause hey ke tlabe ke tshogile ka gore ke o bua sekgowa so ba tlo presenta mo ba tlo presenta ka sekgowa o kopo motho ka go gore na re ba reng mo o skalo o sa tlhaloganya and then how fetsa o tlhaloganya o bo emisa letsogo ka nako ya dipotso o ya straight to the point gore nna ke service provider ha ke counselara ha ke PLC muruo wa ka o kae mo ba go botse ba re process or procedure ya muruo wa hao e tsamaya byang a re ile ka tsheko ha ba fetsa ba tle the provincial road of public works northwest called R5 was that Tabo R512 known as Boedoornstroom Road. The Boedoornstroom Road is on a final stage of appointment now. It's 166, if it's not 168 million project. It's on a final stage. So that project is one of the projects that we have said it must capacitate our SMMEs from Madibeng local municipality by the province. So it's equal to you, SANRAL. It's not like we are welcoming you to Madibeng to come and present nice paper. We want you to commit what you are going to leave out of your presentation to the people of Madibeng. Administrator, by so saying to the community, business people, leadership gathered here today, you are actually welcome after the administrator welcomed you to the municipality of Madibeng. I will leave this process with a MMC Mokwena. I'm attending the interviews with SABC, and I don't want to hear tomorrow gore se re se tlogetseng le se sentse chairperson ke batho ba ba lokileng ba re dikhala ba botsa dipotso o itshokele bona. And thank you very much bagaetso. God bless you, and you must be a better people after this presentation, and life continue. Aluta continueswa. I thank you, Program Director.
Ke a leboga Majoro. Okay, so now I'm going to ask Jeffrey to just come and present on behalf of CIDB. If you have any questions, just list them. We will deal with all the questions at the end. My apologies. We were supposed to have a projector, but I'm told that they took it next door. I'm not sure. But the presentations have been printed. It should be in front of you. Everything that we will be discussing, you should have it in your pack. Ke a leboga Majoro. This is Jeffrey from CIDB. Just applaud for him, please.
Bagaetsho, dumelang. In the spirit of local government elections, in the presence of political leadership, I would like to start by saying, Amandla! Amandla! Matla! Ke a leboga bagaetsho. Program Director, the Executive Mayor of Madibeng Local Municipality, Honorable Councillors, the member of the SANRAL Board, distinguished guests, political formations present, SMMEs, contractors, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Jeffrey, like the program director has indicated. I'm here, colleagues, to represent the CIDB. I believe my presentation is right in front of you, so you'll go with me on the presentation in front of me. Bagaetsho, my presentation is going to be very short and cover a few aspects concerning CIDB. What I'm going to talk about is the CIDB Act, the kind of support services that we provide, who should register on the CIDB, the contracting and online registration. Bagaetsho, as you might know, CIDB Potagogo Patricia Delil. The CIDB board reports to the Minister of Public Works, which is Patricia Delil. The CIDB was established in terms of the CIDB Act 38 of 2000, and then it was established to promote and regulate the construction industry. So everything, the kind of support services that we provide as the CIDB, you want to undertake government tenders, you have to register with the CIDB. We also provide the register of projects. All government entities that issue out construction-related tenders, they must issue them on the CIDB register of projects. We provide the online registration. We facilitate training. We provide contractor development program support. We support clients. Clients, I'm referring to the state-owned enterprises like SANRAL. I'm referring to municipalities like Madibeng. I'm referring to infrastructure departments like public works, education, health, you name them. Those are the clients, that's CIDB, that we provide support to. We provide support in terms of procurement and delivery management, contractor development programs, industry performance indicators. We are able to provide the indicators to our clients because as the CIDB, we have a database of all registered contractors and a database of all issued procurement projects. So we are in a position to can provide any kind of statistics that is needed by our clients. Who must register on the CIDB? Construction companies who have the capability to undertake construction contracts and who wish to tender for public construction contracts. If you are a contractor, you want to undertake public sector projects, you must register on the CIDB register of contractors. If you are a contractor, you only wish to do private sector projects, you do not need to register on the CIDB register of contractors. Who must not register on the CIDB? Joint ventures. As a joint venture, that particular joint venture, it does not have to register on the CIDB. But individual members of the joint venture, they have to register on the CIDB. If it's company AB, AB does not have to register on the CIDB. But company A on itself, it has to register. Company B on itself, it has to register. I hope that is very clear, colleagues. Contractors who are under restrictions, if you have been barred from doing business with government, you are restricted from registering with the CIDB. Home builders, you don't have to register with the CIDB. But as a home builder, you have to register with? Sorry? NHPRC, thanks. If you are a contractor that provides labor only, you don't have to register with the CIDB. If you are a supplier that only supplies materials, you do not have to register with the CIDB. And then when you have to register with the CIDB, when you have to decide that I am a contractor, I want to do business with government, I want to register with the CIDB. You come to us and then you tell us, me as a contractor, I want to be registered on a particular classes of works. We have different classes of works that you can register on. We've got the GB, we've got the CE, ME, EB, EP, and the S classes of works. So we've got different categories. It's up to you to decide on which category you want to be registered on. You have no restrictions. You tell us, I want to register on SS classes of works, we register you on the S classes of works. You come to us and say, I want to be registered on the CE classes of works, we register you on the CE classes of works. So the choice is up to you, colleagues. You tell us what you want, we'll give it to you. When you come to us, obviously, if you registered, we are going to require you to provide us with certain documents. Entry level will be your grade 1 up to a maximum of grade 9. So when you come to us, when you start, you have not implemented any construction-related project, we are going to put you on grade 1. But if you go along having implemented certain infrastructure projects, you will keep on graduating until you reach a maximum of grade 9 on the CIDB register of contractors. So if you come to us, you are on grade, we want to be registered on grade 1, you are going to give us your company documents, the certified ID. If you want to register on an EB classes of works, you are going to give us your electrical contractor certificate. You give us a proof of payment. You print out your tax clearance PIN. Then we give you the grade 1. The amount of grade 1 for you to be registered, it's 450 colleagues. If you want to register 10 grade 1s, you have to give us 450 times 10. Because each and every class of works, it's registered at 450. So if you want to register all the classes of works, you give us the amount 450 times all the classes of works. It's up to you. As the CIDB, we encourage our people to always register for a PE status. What the PE status does is that it allows the contractor to qualify for a tender that is one grade above his current grading. For example, if you are on grade 4, you are allowed to implement a project of grade 5 if you have registered for a PE status. You are allowed to implement one grade above your current grading level. If you are on grade 8, you are allowed to implement a project at grade 9. But that allowance, that qualification, it has to be activated by the client. Remember when I started, I said our clients is municipalities, is state-owned enterprises, is infrastructure departments. So those are the people that must activate for you to be able to qualify for one grade above your current grading. So what happens is that when they advertise, SANRAL when it advertise, municipalities when they advertise, they must say, we want a grade 5, but a grade 4 PE also qualifies for this project. If they do not do that, then as a grade 4, you won't qualify. So it's up to the clients to make sure that they make you qualify for one grade above your current grading level. So once you are on grade 2, on grade 1, you implement a construction-related project. You are able to come to us to upgrade to a higher CIDB grading level. So it will depend on the value of the project that you would have implemented. Because as a grade 1, you are in the position to implement a project of a maximum value of 500,000. You come to us and say, CIDB, I have completed a project of this value. This is my completion certificate. Can you upgrade my business to a higher CIDB grading level? Based on those documents, we will be in a position to upgrade. So for you to be considered to upgrade to a grade 2, you must give us the appointment letter, the completion certificate, payment certificate, and give us your financial statements. If the project that you implemented was a JV, we want a JV agreement. If the project that we implemented was a subcontractor, we want a subcontractor agreement. We are saying that all business-related contracts and financial documents of at least 5 years are utilized for grading. So if you've implemented a construction-related project 5 years ago, that information, those documents, you are in a position to come to CIDB, we will consider them for your upgrading. For you to be considered for upgrading, those are the documents that we are going to need. We are going to look at your available capital. We are going to consider your best annual turnover. And we are going to consider your works capability, the value of the project that you implemented. So those are the things that we check once you come to us to say, CIDB, I want to be upgraded to a higher CIDB grading level. As a contractor, for you to be able to qualify to a 2 CIDB grade, you need to have implemented a project of 130,000. For you to qualify for a grade 5, you must have implemented a project of 1.5 million. And then for you to qualify for a grade 8, you must have implemented a project of 30 million. So those are the figures that we look at when you come to us to say, I want to be considered for upgrading. But for grade 2, you only have to give us your works capability, the project that you have implemented. For grade 3 and 4, you must give us the largest contract plus the available capital or the best annual turnover. So for you to go to 3 or 4, you give us the project that you have implemented or either best annual turnover or the available capital. But for you to go to grade 5 until 9, you must give us the project that you have implemented, the annual turnover, and your available capital. So those are the documents that we require for you to be considered for upgrading. Colleagues, on the 7th of October 2019, the CIDB reviewed our tender value limits. Initially, as a grade 1, you were only allowed to implement a project of a maximum of 200,000. But since the 7th of October 2019, a contractor of grade 1 is now allowed to implement a project of 500,000. Grade 2, 1 million. Grade 3, 3 million. Grade 4, 6 million. Grade 5, 10 million. Grade 6, 20 million. Grade 7, 60 million. Grade 8, 200 million. And if you are part of the grade 5s, there's no tender limit for you. You can implement any project from 1 to 9. We obviously charge certain fees for you to register with CIDB, like any other government entity. Like any other government entity, colleagues, we also charge certain fees for you to be registered with the CIDB. We've got administration fees and we've got annual fees. Administration fees are only considered when you want to add to your current grading level or when you want to renew your grading level. And then the annual fees, they are being paid annually. But because grade 1s, those are the entry-level contractors, they do not pay for any annual fees. It's zero for them. But as you graduate on the CIDB register of contractors, those are the annual fees that you will have to pay on an annual basis. Grade 2, you pay 250. Grade 3, 350. Grade 4, 900. Grade 5, 1,750. 6, 3,500. 7, 9,000. 8, 29,000. Grade 9, 55,000. Those are the fees that you pay on an annual basis, colleagues. But as a grade 1, you don't pay anything. Colleagues, like I've indicated, if you enter into a joint venture, if you go into a subcontracting arrangement, you have to have a subcontracting agreement or a joint venture agreement. That is the document that we consider when you come to us for upgrading. And then the CIDB, if you want to go into a joint venture, the CIDB website, we've got the JV calculator, joint venture calculator on the CIDB website. It basically tells you how much or how many contractors are going to qualify for a certain grading level. Like 3 grade 2s, they will qualify for a grade 3. So the calculator is there. If you want to go into a joint venture, go to a CIDB website. it will assist you on your decision to be able to know who to consider and how many contractors to consider if you want to go into a joint venture arrangement. And then, colleagues, we have recently launched an online registration. An online registration, after grade 1, you get registered immediately. You go to a CIDB website, you register now, you get registered immediately. It doesn't take time. And then the online registration also used for if you want to add classes of works and also your annual renewals. They can be done online. But the EB, because you have to give us the electrical man's certificate, it does not, you cannot do it on the CIDB website. And when you start to do contractor registration online, you are going to provide us with your CSD number. You must have an access to the email. You must provide us with an access to a phone so that you can receive the OTP. You must have a bank card with enough funds because that's where you are going to pay your online registration fee of 150. And like I've indicated, it gets activated immediately. Colleagues, a moratorium was placed on the CIDB. We do not do any downgrading anymore. And then at the CIDB head office, we do not print out your CIDB registration. We don't do any printouts. So the clients, when they award a project, they have to go to the CIDB website because they've got access to the CIDB register of contractors. They have to go to the register of contractors and validate that indeed a particular contractor is registered on the CIDB website and is registered on a particular credit level, because we do not show out or print out any certificate. When I started, I talked about the stats that we provide. And there is a high competition of grade 1s and 2s on grade. The competition for grade 1 and 2 is very high. Competition is high on GB and CE classes of works and very low in EB, EP, and ME classes of works. There are significant fewer jobs offered by the public sector than there are contractors. Let me repeat, colleagues. There are significantly fewer jobs offered by the public sector than there are contractors. Meaning there are more contractors than there are jobs out there. So as a contractor, you do not have to solely rely on public sector projects. You also have to consider your private sector jobs. All agreements, including subcontractor and joint ventures, must be in writing. All income, business-related income, must go through your business bank account. Because once it goes through your business bank account, that is the amount that we are going to consider when we have to upgrade you to a higher CIDB grading level. I thank you. I'm good.
You'll get your questions later.
Yeah, all right, no, that's fine.
Dumela Mbagaitso, le kae? All right, le nna ke teng. Ke nna Phesi Moloto. I'm mainly in charge of most projects in the, let me call it Madibeng region. We've got a vast number of projects in the northwest, and I seem to somehow have found myself in the Madibeng municipality. So I'll be with you for a very long time. So I'm hoping that over the years, I can make friends here. and hopefully stop fighting on projects. I'm seeing a lot of that on the ground. So if you look on your desk, there's a presentation which has been printed for all of you. I'll be taking you through page by page, explaining to you all the work that we are planning to do in the region of Madibeng. Yes, the green presentation. Thanks. All right, so basically upcoming projects. We've got past projects. Some of you know me from the R511 by NZK, which is basically virtually almost complete. I'm now going to take you through future projects, and I'll start off with the routine road maintenance contract. So it's a single contract, but it's made up of many road sections. It's about 166 kilometers in length, I'm told. My fellow project manager could not be here to present to you, so I'll be doing her part. So the first page is, you'll see there's a map with the red sections. The red sections represent the extent of the contract for routine road maintenance. So that's the 166 kilometers. So what is happening is I'm in charge of projects where we are upgrading these roads. So the maintenance contract is running concurrently with the upgrade project. Next page. The client is the South African National Roads Agency, and the contract was awarded to KBK Engineers, and then you've got VIA Roads as the routine road maintenance contractor. The value is around 61 million rands. It started in November 2020, and it's a 36 months or 3-year contract envisaged to be completed or finish around October 2023. I'm told that there will be about 4 opportunities in the month of January or February for the CRDB grading category, grade 1 and grade 2s. So please pin down that date. It will be advertised through the LED in this municipality, so all of you will get to see those job opportunities. This is all the information I have currently. There are SMMEs that are currently employed on the project. I don't know how many, but some of you might know. And all queries relating to maintenance contracts, you can send them either through the LED or I think even through our stakeholder managers. And then you'll get all the information on those contracts. There's also the PLC, which is appointed for this contract. And those of you that are aware, should you need more clarity or information on these projects and any other further contracts downstream, you can go and communicate with the PLC. All right, then we get into my section, which is basically the upgrade of the same network that I've just showed you, the 166 kilometers. Some parts of the network, the condition is no longer safe, and it needs to be improved, or we need to bring it to a healthy or lifelong standard. So the first one is called the upgrade of R512, section 20, from the northwest Houten border to the R104 intersection. So this is the section of road that starts off just outside Lanzeria towards Hartbees, and it passes through Lesedi village, and then it gets to the R104 intersection. So next page, you get to see the locality of the project. As I have described, it's about 7.7 kilometers. It's a very short section. And we've already appointed an engineer. It's called ROM-H Consulting. And the road is to be upgraded. To upgrade it means you're either going to end up adding more lanes to the road. So that makes it a big project and no longer a small project. It is going to fall within the 9CE space, so it's more than 200 million. I don't suspect it will be more than 300, but we will see. We're always a bit, can I say, cautious to disclose the value at a design stage, but we know that it will be in the grade 9CE category. So once the tender has gone out and we are in the process to appoint, that's when you'll be more or less able to tell what the figure will be. So April 2023, this is when we plan to start with construction. A lot of the projects are actually going to start in the 2023 financial years. Although it's a small section, like I said, the possibility of adding new lanes to this project will mean that you need more than a year to construct it. So 18 months is the planned construction period for this job. All right, so that's the first section, and then the second one is called the N4. So where Pampun Neck ends to where the N4 starts towards Rustenburg, there's another section of road there. It's about 5 kilometers. So yes, it starts at the end of the old Pampun Neck project, and it goes all the way to the N4. That project, next page, is being awarded to Sinfratech Consulting Engineers. Again, it's also to upgrade that road to match the work that has already been done on Pampun Neck. That also will be a Grade 9 CE project, and October 2023 is the planned construction start date. Slightly smaller, so we hope that within 14 months, more or less, that project will be completed. Then I get to the slightly bigger contracts, which is the R511. And I'll start off with the first section. It starts at the GP Northwest border, and it goes all the way to the R514 T-junction. So to describe it, the next page, that is the map. So where the Northwest and the GP borders link up, that will be the project start. Passes through Xanadu Estate, passes through the aquarium, and then you turn all the way towards Brett's, and it terminates at the R514 T-junction. It's about 10 kilometers of road length. So there, the engineer is Nyeleti Consulting Engineers. Also, it's a road upgrade, especially the section in front of the aquarium. It's very bad. It can use an upgrade plus additional lanes to improve capacity. Lots of traffic in the morning, peak hours, and afternoons. It's no longer safe, and it needs an improvement. So that, again, is around October 2023. Will not be less than 2 years of construction, 24 months to complete, or slightly longer, we will see. So that's a bigger package. And then the next road is also the R511. So where the first section stops at the R514, we continue all the way from that point as a project start, all the way on a straight line over the N4 to Brett's. So just around Brett's Mall, that is more or less where this project stops. Also, it's about 15 kilometers, much bigger than the first one. Next page. There we have a company called Elifa Africa Engineers. And it's also a road upgrade, so we're doing the same thing everywhere. Grade 9 CE, around October 2023. So it will be a very big corridor improvement of featuring both packages for 2 years. I foresee challenges with traffic accommodation. It's going to be a messy construction period, but it will create the much needed jobs and SMME upliftment. Then I've got the last project, which is also the continuation of the R511. So currently we've got from Brett's, which is the center of town, but not necessarily from town, to Biestagral. That's the current job that is almost completed. The R511-030-2017 is the continuation of the 511 job that you are all familiar with. It is from the Biestagral to the Northwest Limpopo border towards Tabazimbi. And it's about 42 kilometers in length. So if you go to the next locality map, it shows you there 42 kilometers of road strengthening. It's not an upgrade, so we're not adding more lanes. We don't have enough traffic to warrant adding more lanes to this road, but we've got a need to improve it for the next to get functional. So we are strengthening in this instance. We have advertised for tender. Some of you are aware of this. It was on CIDB and SANRAL websites. It's a grade 9 CE, and the value that we will appoint is between 300 and 400 million. That's the range where the contractors have tendered. And we hope that by November this year, we can appoint the contractor. We plan to start construction January 2022. It's a 24-month project. So the PLC commencement of formation should take place around January with the assistance of the municipality, and obviously take into account all the issues that were raised today in terms of the PLC formation and lessons learned. We should try and see if this project can be done much better than the current one. So that's my last project in terms of the project overview that I'm in charge of within the Madibeng municipality. Those that are not aware, I'm just going to take you through our contract to help you see why local will be local and why this is within our transformation policy. So community participation, targeted labor, 8% of the construction value in rand figures must be the amount spent on labor. And labor will be declared as local labor, local being Madibeng, of course, and especially the affected wards where the road passes. 30% will go towards women, and 30% of that figure will go towards the youth. And then we've got 30% of construction value going to targeted enterprise. So this is over and above the 8%. And this is how we measure the contractors, and this is what they have to produce in terms of the contract. So of the 30%, we've decided to split it equally in our contract. We've got grade 2 CE, 3, 4, 5. Each of those categories will get 25% of the contract value in terms of the 30%. What we did with the previous project, we did designate some opportunities for grade 1s. So we will try and do the same on this contract. However, it's not in our contract document. So the PLC often dictates what can be done and what cannot be done. So we'll always try and include the grade 1s. And of these groups of targeted enterprises, 20% of the companies have to be women-owned and 20% have to be youth-owned. So that is how we also select contractors that can do the work. As I said, the target area is a local municipality in which the project is located. In this instance, it's Madibeng municipality. And I will ensure that we only employ from Madibeng. And it has worked well so far. Some of the works that can be done, which is my last page, based on the value of these CRDB designations from 2 to 5 CE, a lot of the drain works is done by the local companies. Culverts as well, all speaks to stormwater drainage. Caps, some of you are aware of that or familiar with this. Stone pitching, stonework is done by local, guardrails is done by locals. Fencing, so road marking can be done by locals, including asphalt. We have found a local company that's able to pave, and I'm hoping I can see different players this time around, or ceiling subcontractors. So it doesn't have to just be limited to the 30%. It can be over and above, depending on obviously the commercial arrangement between the main contractors and the subcontractors. All right, so that's the end of my presentation. I'll just for now give over to Julexia. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Percy. I hope we are all awake. I know it has been a long day so far, but we are now at the exciting part, which is the question and answers. So all of you that have jotted down your questions, we will then take them. I think I'll take 5 questions at a time. Would that work for us as SANRAL? 5 questions at a time? Yes. We'll take 5 questions at a time, and then we'll answer them, and then go back to the next 5. So show of hands, can I see what questions are? Here is 1. Can we have a mic here, please? 1. The lady will be number 2. Here's another lady, number 3. There's, so I'm not sure if you're a lady or, male or female, but there's a hand at the back as well. So I think it will be that 4 for now, and then if you feel inspired, you can raise your hands up after that. So we'll just start here as well.
Hello, my name is Ruben Nelson from Madibeng Black Business Chamber.
Hi, Ruben.
I got 2 questions, one directed to the board and CIDB. If we go out on the market to look for a JV partner, and all grade 9s, they are very few. They do not even want to think about JVs. Interested is people of HCE, PE. But the moment you go on a JV, the PE falls away. That means the grade HCE, PE would not take on a JV partner. Because that means automatically he does not qualify anymore to tender for a grade 9. And we want the board to look at it. Really, if you talk about empowerment, it is those companies who are on PE who wants to empower people. The same way of your degrading, you have stopped it. Because it did not, or for CIDB, it did not work for us. The same way we want CIDB to look at the PE thing, because HCE, you have more HCEs PE than grade 9s. Now, when you go in JV with a HCE PE, the moment you go on the calculator, the PE falls away. That means that guy would not take you on as a JV partner. So those are one of the obstacles facing the industry. The other issue for SANRAL, it is your contractors, main contractors, are not honest with you and with us. And to make an example, contractor gets an appointment letter. The moment you go and negotiate rates with the contractor, the main contractor, he finds out that the material has already been procured because they buy in bulk. Now, when money is deposited in his account, it only reflects for labor. That means he does not qualify to upgrade his grading, because CIDB needs that money to get through the account. Now, what I'm saying is that the main contractor scores on the 15% VAT already, because he supplies the subcontractors with the materials and the concrete and the steel, because he says that he's getting it cheaper. Because when a small company put in a quote, his quote is higher, obvious, because he gets prices very high than the main contractor, because he does not buy in bulk. Now, that is what is facing the contractors daily when they are working. Therefore, you don't see a lot of new companies mushrooming to be in grade 3, 4, 5. The ones with capital and the ones who can go and negotiate a good rate on materials, those are the ones who are succeeding in this industry. Now, what we need to look at, if the contractor supplies the material, it must not be part of the 30%. It must not be. You better increase the scope of work for him so that he get a more labor rate, man-hour rate. Because it's a lie to say that I've given contractor X 3 million project, only to find out money that goes through his account, it is 250,000. That is what's happening in the industry. And those are the things that we really need to look at. We need to grab it, we need to sit down with it, and the managers that are running these projects in our region really needs to look at these things. There's other things that we can look at. We can look at crushing, we can look at small businesses coming together, acquire land, getting a license from the provincial government to do some mining so that we can supply the materials and such things. But the problem is that the main contractors, they do their planning in the head offices, not where we are. So when they come down to the ground, it's a done deal. There is no room for negotiations. There's no room where we can express our interest as local contractors, because we have learned from the past. We have worked on the N4, we have learned, and we don't want to go through the same pain that we went through as contractors. So these are the things that we need to look at. The other issue is that the main contractors also has their preferred contractors to do road markings, and especially asphalt. And if you look at it, if you go deeper into it, you may find it is a subsidiary company of the same contractor. Now, what we are saying that means that the money that is supposed to come to local, the 30%, does not even hit that 5% mark. It does not even. Yeah, on paper it does. But on reality, it does not. And I'm telling you, we are clever now. We went through the pains and the struggles. This time we would not allow it. Really. We would not allow it. This time we really need to sit down, plan with the contractors, discuss with them, and then we start implementing this project. So that we have value of that 30% being left here behind in our local area. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Ruben. The first issue you are saying we must note, so he's going to respond on that. I want Percy to respond on the second issue of the labor.
All right, thank you for raising real issues. It is a challenge, I'll be honest with you. I'll give an example. We went through this similar exercise whereby we appointed subcontractors who in turn could not buy material and could not start the work. And that compromises even the delivery of the very same project. So in terms of the PLC, a decision was taken within our PLC, and I think that's where we perhaps become a bit more flexible. The PLC made a ruling that the contractor must buy the material for the subcontractors so that they can commence with the work. By so doing, work was done. Now, in terms of measuring the spend, you're quite correct. We took the material spent and the labor spent as contributing factors towards the 30%. So you're proposing that we do it the other way, that we increase the scope of work and 30% must end up being labor. So the challenge we have is that already we've allocated 8% towards labor, plus 30% towards targeted enterprise. So we're essentially spending about 40% on local in terms of those figures that I've just described. I think in terms of the challenge we have is now with CRDB, that because money is only reflected almost as a labor brokerage type of fee in the subcontractors, CRDB will not accept income that was not declared in the company's account. So I think with the future projects, I think this problem we need to work around it, because the money that gets deposited in these SMMEs ultimately does not reflect the material value which they could not purchase. So it's an administrative challenge between ourselves on the ground and how CIDB measures participation at that level. So I think it's something that can be, I'm assuming you can perhaps tell us how we can take this forward, because ultimately, if we are able to measure the material spend, we can assist the subcontractors in actually upgrading to a better grade. And then with the asphalt suppliers and pavers and road marking, our challenge is that because of the quality spec that we impose on those two aspects, one being that road marking is a safety issue, asphalt has to speak to riding quality, and we're quite strict on that. We penalize the contractor. We were lucky with the R511. We were able to procure a local asphalt producer and paver. And I'm hoping that with other projects going forward, we can see more players come onto the market. Thanks.
Okay, so remember I said from the beginning, SANRAL also has a transformation policy. And this is part of the transformation challenges that we are facing. Because here's where I'm standing. My work is to do stakeholder engagement. So I'm providing labor. That's the sense that I'm getting. And I'm saying, let's not shift the problem because it's not a CIDB problem. CIDB is very clear in their policy to say, you will not be graded if you're just providing labor only, because you don't even need to register if you're only providing labor. So CIDB is very clear. It's a SANRAL issue. And from where I'm standing, you are saying, we just don't want to provide labor. Give us the entire work package, and if I am equipped and I have the resources, I should deliver the entire package. Is that what you're saying? Yes. So, CIDB will add. So I know that is how Percy did it on the current R511, because we did explain it. We had a meeting with the municipality. It was brought up to say this is how we did it with the current R511 project. And the sense was that everybody on the ground was happy with that. Now the sense is you are not happy with that. Because if you are saying I must do road markings, I have the equipment, I have the resources, so I should be given the entire project and not only the labor portion of it. I also want to procure my own materials because I also have connections. So if that's the sense, then the person will need to relook at how he puts the packages forward, so that even the SMMEs on the ground are happy as well. So I've got your sense, Percy has the sense, so we will work around it and see which one will work best as well. But I'll give to CIDB to also add as well.
Yeah, colleagues, as CIDB, I'm sorry, sir, if the PE status did not work for you. That is not the intention. But we are saying as CIDB, we get the documents from the contractor. We assess those documents. We assess the contents of the documents. And we grade the contractor based on the contents of those documents that we get. So the way the contract has been packaged between SANRAL, the main contractor, and the subcontractor, that's basically, it's out of our hands. We are saying, SANRAL, make sure that you advantage the contractors so that they are in a position to can give us the documents that will allow us to take them to a higher CIDB grading. That's what we want. And we are at a point currently whereby we as the CIDB, we are reviewing our CIDB regulations. So any proposal, any suggestion that you guys might have, this is the correct time to send us those proposals that you want this to be changed, and we will consider that when we review the current CIDB regulations.
So, Ntate Jeffrey, from us on the floor, we are saying we are already making an input into your policies to say, maybe have a provision for also considering labor only as a method of upgrading us as well, because some contracts only have labor only. So it's something new that they can look into, but the other part, we will look into it. Okay.
You know, the reason why government came up with this 30% subcontracting requirement targeted mainly at local communities and businesses is to achieve exactly that empowerment for those people. Now, listening to this thing where the main contractor shall have bought material at wholesale prices in bulk, and that material counts only for the main contractor and not the subcontractor, is clearly working against what government is trying to achieve. And I think as SANRAL, we must not allow that. And we can see why the main contractor avails the material. Obviously, the project must move, Percy. And you cannot be held back by the fact that the subcontractor does not have money. But at the same time, why are you disadvantaging this person for not having money? Because that's why you are bringing them in the first place. You are trying to make them make money. So we must deal with that. And it would appear to me that as SANRAL, we are the people who have this money. And we are the people who are giving the main contractor this job. So it would be important for us to say to the main contractor, we are giving you this job, and indeed, because we are giving you this job, you are now in a position to buy in bulk. It's because of these monies that you are able to buy in bulk. And therefore, if we give you this money, it must be used indeed for your own benefit, but where subcontracting is concerned, we must achieve exactly what government wants to achieve. And it must not be 15% that ends up in the hands of the subcontractor. It must be that 30%. And so if the main contractor buys the material, it must be understood that that element of the material that falls under subcontracting will be considered as part of the subcontractor's contribution. If it means the subcontractor must pay you back, you must consider it as some kind of advance to the subcontractor. And come payment time, it will be deducted. So you don't lose as a main contractor, but it will reflect in the payment of the subcontractor so that it works for the subcontractor at the level of the CIDB. Otherwise, we are subverting what government is trying to achieve. And as SANRAL being a state-owned company, we cannot be seen to be subverting government's policy. So internally to Lexia, Percy, we need to talk about this, and we have to make sure that we achieve what government wants to achieve. So thank you very much.
Ke a leboga, Chair. Okay, then there was the lady there, yes.
Ke a dumedisa SANRAL le ba botlhe ba ba leng ka fa. Leina la ka ke Madibeng ke tswa ko Bapapamogale Business Chamber. My questions and comments, yeah. Number one, go eda ke lebogeng Ntate Ruben Nelson sa se boletseng. I was going to say that.
Okay.
Ke a mo leboga. And then in addition to that, my concern ke gore dilo kry di kwetse mo page di bua le main contractor. Ma ga di tsena go di subcontracting ke the opposite. Ke buela mo issue ya youth le women le people with disability. Ke bona le tlogetse ke kopa le ete le yone mo teng. O kry ba since ba fedi subcontract like ka di percentages le di boletseng. Ga ba tsena ko the practical ko di site e nna the opposite. O kry main contractor a itse re o kry mosadi o mo feng or o kry youth e feng. Ko bofelong local people as youth as women have a benefit. In a challenge again. Mo issue nya bobedi ene le bua ka di scholarship le di bursaries. Ke nna le tlhobaelo. Maybe ke ka mokgo communication line na e operatang ka teng. Ke nagana gore ga le re ditswa ka June, maar rona ke ra information today. So it seems there's something wrong. Ke kopa gore maybe in a coming future or in a long run, le communicate ka nako le the municipality and the traditional leaderships because le bone ba na le batho ko tlase kwa. So most ga ba na le challenges, especially Madibeng is entirely ke di rural areas. The information is a fitting ko teng. And then o kry ba na le challenge ya network la itse re ya sokodisa Vodacom le MTN re patala di service tse re sa di kry. So maybe ga information ile go masepala ile go di-traditional counseling, go tla nna bokotoka, ka gore le bone ba tshwere mass, and then ba na le challenge. And then o kry-e le gore ka nnete dilo tse di a tlhokagala ko magaeng, ga se mo di-townshiping fela di benefita mo teng. So ke kopa le lebelele le yone. Since we already work as stakeholder engagement, le ke nagana di-traditional council, traditional bone, di-stakeholders tsa lona. Mo ya di-risk, again, ke na le issue le tlhobaelo thata, o buile ka nna, ha no bua ka Sun City, via Majakaneng, via Bapong, o bua ka nna. So ke mo affected person. So ke kopa gore as SANRAL le bone dilo tse go di maybe di speed times, especially mo ke ya rona complex file. Bana ba ka mo Thanato ba crossetsa ka mo Bapong. So how ka ya fale in the morning or in the afternoon, you'll see the challenge. And even ba tsena ko di primary schools ba tloga ko Majakaneng, tsentse ba cross the N4 gore ba kgone go fitla earlier ko sekolo. Le yone ke kopa le check. Ke lebella gape mo ga ne go constructiwa N4. Nentse ba poile teng. A se re ba pongitile mabane. Mara ga ga consideriwa stormwater control. And even today we still have a challenge. Community batla ko rona every time, especially rainy seasons. Ga pula tona e sekgale. Ke tle be re na le ye re itemogela mathata, and then batla ko rona direct o kry ba tlo re fisetsa mo dintlong e ka rona ke rona re constructileng tsela, se rona re constructileng tsela. So ke kopa le yone le check, it's long overdue. Ya bofelo ke kopa SANRAL ha ka utlwa ba bua ka disaster management relief, ka re gona le tsama gona le di-disaster somewhere here, there and then ba bona ba thusa di-community bjang mo yona eo as a plowback maybe.
Okay.
And then mo ya bofelo ke ya CIDB ba buile ka di-training, ke kopa o itse di-training tsa bone ke tsa batho ba ba kry-ileng di-contractor or le batho ba ba leng ready to gore ba kry-e di-contractor gore le bone ba ka ga mmereko o tla se ka nna gore ba thoma ko morago e nne gore ba ready tlare ba tsamaile di-training tse rileng ba awardile di-certificate gore ba kgone go nna ready for action ka gore e tla safer nako. Ya bofelo ke gore online registration ke nagana gore bua le di-townships le batho ba ba leng gaufi le bo masepala go ba ba leng kwa bo Valbosluote bo Jericho bo mama ba tlo participate, maar because of this advantage of the online systems they are not familiar with, maybe gonna lead trainings for that and then so that they can help themselves. Ke a leboga.
Okay, ke a leboga. So I'm just going to deal with some of your questions quickly. In terms of the scholarship and bursary, we had scholarship and bursary drives where we went to municipalities. So the college luna already, re ba file the form already a long time ago. Ne ke no botsa ba ba leng mo and that have not received that information. But we did have scholarship and bursary drives where the information was shared. And Salera Yako, Rasenbeke, Rabicha, all 4 municipalities that fall under Bujanala, we also had a workshop as well. So in terms of the schools, they are well catered for. So I just wanted to assure you. I've noted Tabaya Huri Banaba Skolo, so I've noted that one. In terms of N4, Yabakwena, Yadi storm waters, Yabakwena, so they're not here today with us, although they are Bakwena is a concessionaire, SANRAL. I needed to invite them so that they can come and discuss your issues, but I'm gonna ask them to take your details so that Kifes Soli is responsible for stakeholder under Bakwena. I'm not sure, was there a technical issue? There was a CIDB question.
Yeah, the training I referred to, as the CIDB, we are not a training provider. But what we do is that we facilitate training on behalf of contractors. As an organization, we've got a working relationship with the training providers. BOSIDA, CITA, you name them. So the contractors will engage us, and then we will be in a position to can facilitate any kind of training that is relevant to them with our training providers that we are in bed with. But not directly, we do not provide training.
Okay, so in terms of training as well, under SANRAL, we have a training budget under our projects, but the training is provided to those that will be recruited on the project as well. So whatever training need there will be, we will identify the need, and we've got a budget to spend under SANRAL. Yeah. Then there was the lady here.
Dumelang bagaetsho. Ke Lili Mokoena from Nafcock Madibeng. Ke a itumela go nna le lona kajeko. Firstly, ke tlo kopa batjha ba ba leng teng gore information e le kry-ang le e diriseng le seke la tshaba ho e bala. It is very important. Le seke la tseya fela hore ke le baleng. Ke tlo mme o buile dilo tse dintsi tse ne ke batla go botsa. Fela ke tlo botsisa abuti ke Jeffrey sia. Dipampiri tsa lona di a kry-iwa ko Sunnyside. System ya lena ha ke itse hore e jwang. O ya fela ko monna o itseng. A ba o tseela yona, a ba o irela yona. Bianong, your system, I knew, okay, no, this one is not right. I remember sometimes go SABC, me akreile grading grade 9, and ele or a big project. Kante asna yona, akitse orle improve ile hona bianong. Because batho batlo right, batho batlo ya bailo ira skete le skete. Ke utlwile o bua mme ka dintlu ha re ya ko Sun City. A ke itse or ke lack of communication or kore re ira ka o ithatela mo South Africa ke democracy, but it's very scary. I don't know, or at one stage, batho ba le batla kopiwa hore shiftan dintlo tsa lona. I don't know. And ele ka ba kopa e tlo nantwa. Ba haetsho bo botlhe a re sa thaba ka masepala or eng. Re avoid ho fisa dikontiri. Re ipusetsa morao. Skontiri ha sa ira selo. Ke di officials sa masepala maybe sa tlisa or whatever. Are avoiding hore re fise dikontiri as a belief. Ke a kopa. Ke a leboga.
Yeah, Mama, ke a leboga for that input. I'm not aware of those shenanigans, Mama. The process when you apply for upgrading, we give you 21 working days. You apply now, after 21 working days, we give you the verdict, where you're able to qualify for the grading that you applied for. You give us those documents during my presentation. Those documents, we take them to an assessment committee. Asemoto 1, it's about 7 people that goes through those documents to assess or do you really qualify to be awarded the grading that you apply for. So if something like that has happened, Mama, I'm not aware of it. I'm not sure how it happened. If you are aware, bring it to my attention and then we'll follow up. But the process is as such, 21 working days, it goes through the assessment committee and then you get awarded what you qualify for. Thank you.
Ke a leboga, Jeffrey. So in terms of community Elaya Majakane, that's on our reserve. The day when we'll need to construct or improve the road, we will need to engage them, and then the relocation by Bitang land acquisition. We've got that department within SANRAL. They'll need to engage those people so that we can relocate them somewhere else. So there is still an engagement that's going to happen because one day we're going to improve at that road. So I'm hoping that it will work as well. But ke a leboga. Then there was, where's the mic now? There was the lady at the back and there's a gentleman here, I know. I'm not sure where the mic is. You got a mic? Oh, okay.
Thank you very much, Dumelang Bagaetsho. Concern e raisitsweng ke Ausi Limo. I beg your pardon? Oh, yeah, ke AB Mukhale, NAFCOC, Treasurer, NAFCOC Madibeng. Ke point e raisitsweng ke Ausi Lili has been worrying me a lot. Yeah, batho ba ba fisang dikontiri ha ba sena metsi. Ebe ba fisa skontiri ba ira di pothole go sane ba complain ka the same roads ba re di tsela di phunyegile and stuff. Recommendation aka or maybe comment e to etsane ke re SANRAL ka hore le gaufi le ko national le go ka legislate wa gore motho a ka tshwarwang a fisa skontiri a tlhatlhelwe for 6 months a kry dilo di change tse ha tlhaga ko gore dilo di change go se ke wa ba le gore o ipona molato or a o ipone molato gore it must be legislated so that because we've got foreign nationals ba ba tletse mo mekhukhung mo or wa bolela ba re you are xenophobic ba ba tletse mo di informal settlements ba tla ke bona ba ba fisang dikontiri. I've seen them do it ba tsena mo le ba ipeya ba fetswa ipeya go sane ba ra gona metsi ba chesa skontiri se se re costa rona South Africans as taxpayers and law abiding citizens. So nekere make a recommendation re tlogelo ba le di rights tse di extra tse di rang gore di foreign nationals di tlemo di tloetsa ka mogodi di batlang. Even ko sunny side ko a bolelang ko teng, there is no certificate that you cannot get some South Africa se se senteng ko sunny side. We are even afraid to get into sunny side rona batho ba mo Mzansi. So a gona document ya lona mo e senteng ko sunny side ya government. There is not a single. Ebile ba bang they are proud gore di minister a di a itse gore ke di doctor ntse ba se qualified. I'm just giving you a synopsis of what is happening. We have compromised a lot mo South Africa. Legislation make a recommendation le gaufi le dilo tsa teng gore ba motho a ka kreiwang a fisa skontiri whether it's a national road or a provincial road a tlhatlhelwe gore that person go ska to molato or a molato is wrong. That person has ana di rights, he has compromised all the rights. Thank you.
Well noted, well noted. At the back there was the oh, you're sorted. Oh, okay, next Okafa Ifantato, yeah. Oh, aka o bona skisne. Oh, okay.
I thank you. My name is Colin from Madibeng, Mabloka. It's where I situated. So there is something that you have begin with when you start about the road that we use every day. When you pick up something, you must write a letter to SANRAL. So I just want to need to a clarity on it so that what kind of a letter, that letter may come with a form of proposal or a formal letter. Thank you very much.
So it depends on what the need is. So if you're just escalating to me or to Lexa, gidula mo and then kiverikisa tsela in a little potholes because our regulations the SANRAL say potholes must be fixed within 24 hours. So when Oduche Mola, it's 2 weeks late. So we are breaking our own rules. So in that case, you can escalate to me. If the lights are not working, they're not being lighted, escalate to me, I'll ensure that the lights have been lighted.
Thank you very much. I have another question for NHBRC, CIDB, sorry. Okay. CIDB, you have pointed that if you have the NHBRC, you must then apply for CIDB. I just want you to clarify for me, if I tender for some other things, having NHBRC, not having CIDB, it leaks. Thank you very much.
Yeah, Bagaetsho, what I said was, if you are solely a home builder, you do not have to register with CIDB. You have to register with NHBRC. If you are a home builder. But at CIDB, we've got different classes of works. And ali GB moting. GB is one of the classes of works that you can register for us, with us. But if your concentration is home building, you register with the HPRC. But if you want to do the entire construction projects, not only focusing on home building, construction projects, you have to register with CIDB. Thank you.
Thanks, Jeffrey.
Thank you, Chair. O bua mo ke Evelyn Makgobenyane, ke tswa ko Madibeng Business Chamber. Ke na le dipotsonyana ne ke utlwa ntse le presenter ke gata gape mo ntate Ruben Nelson na bua ka yona. Ke gata le mo ntate na bua ka yona in terms of issue ya material. Now issue ya material go monate ra bua ka Jeko, but it's not as it is. We can say a lot of things gore a di subcontractors say ba fe advance. Then chelete itla deductiwa. But in actual fact, what is happening, okra contractor, na wa motho le khoa o, a o bolele straight gore maybe yena o na le company ko leng gore that certain product, it's either ba mo produce etsa yona or we reka ka bulk. And then you come as snacks, o bontsha di rates tsa teng gore look nna for pente ke chargitswe bokana. Now, obviously, if na ke ya penta how ke 100 rand, na ke fitla mo dryer or ke fitla mo kae, dryer ke 200, mo le ke 210. His is 100, it's 100 rands. Then obviously, I can't out of the car for project ke ke batla supply. Then I'm going to go and buy product there 220 or 210. I'm going to ke tlo sakama to the pressure, and then he is going to supply at the end of the day. And gape ntwe ngwe tshwantse re itse as a contractor le nna ge ke tendera on whatever it is that I'm supplying, I put my 20% markup. So not only is he making a profit on the product, the material ya gage on wetsa profit mo teng. So ne ke re are checking especially when bona di subcontractors the 1 and 2 batloya and they are going to tender. Batlo ba disadvantaged, they won't win. Ne ke utlwile wetsa the comment or look rona as SANRAL, when we appoint you on the lowest rate. And wena o tlotla o re selo ke 500, but ya rona ke 250. Let when you evaluate, look ko leng ko teng where we are here at, that the equipment that re kriyang, how much it is, because we still at the end of the day we are going to be disadvantaged in terms of material. That is why PLC they took a decision that SANRAL must go and then supply. And then if SANRAL, you are talking, I was noting them down. Now, not only should it be a bread and butter issue, as government also relevant to promote, upgrade our gradings. If you go to CIDB, we must be honest. That's why maybe you should change your policies to CIDB. When you go with a contract, it's labor only. You can't grade. So then, you understand how it is. The intention is for you guys to grow us. But as a matter of fact, it's not. It's for you people who really movies at the end of the day, a project that needs to be executed, like execute, and you say what you are saying, all the things that you are saying to our ears are right. But in implementation, they are not being implemented. If a PLC led a project manager, ba agree no, abatu we redecidile. Like under who decidile ule mang, like redecidile gore batho ba supplyele the material. Then where is your vision and mission? Ya gore batho ba ntse ba gole, re kgone gola. Gona le this thing ya group 5 ke utlwile le gona nong. Hele tsena na nka introduce gore I've got 3 companies. I'm a grade 7 CEPE for 8. Ke na le company ya grade 5, ke na le ya 2. Now, nekere ba botlhe re le ka mo ba haitso. Yes, we want to work. Yes, gona le the grade 1 re batla. Ntate o ile wa chairperson wa board. said something very clear. A rona re le batho ba bantsho, re ratolwana, but we should support each other in this thing. Hore ka kajeko o grade 1 akere, or o grade 2. Tomorrow you'll be 5, 6, 7, and 8. So hene SANRAL ifitla when you came here, ne le sa itse ene le tsa implementation ne le sa itse hore le tlo kry-a those grades here now. So now you are saying ere ba di grade 1 and di grade 2 ba gole le bona ba etla. About in a grade 5 or grade 6 it might be, or 7. Then what happens to them? Because if you go into tender, experience counts. You know, to say, you know what, mail, or even though if it might have not been a contract, where are those programs telling hore companies are not feeling to that extent to say, okay, adding into this program or work hand in hand, le SANRAL, le kgone ithuta, le kgone acquire that skill to be able to hore le bereke. Now, to the board, if hona nong, yes, the contractors like grade 1 and 2, ba bereka o fitla 6, where the years come, ba fitla mo ke fitlileng mo teng. Then what do you do with those companies? And then how do you tackle issue ya lona ya gore there are 5 companies, ba ba bitsang the grade 5, right? How do we partake? How do we participate as black people? Like I am a woman, ke motho o montsho, ke one ke director in this company. Nna ke tlo ipona leng ke kgone compete le those companies tse di tshwana le bo group 5 or so. A ke re la re, they said it clear, ba re mo re ska lwa le batho ba bannyane, ke expecta gore ke mogolo ko lwa le dithaka tsaka. So he ke fitla ko lwa leng le dithaka tsano, why a gona ke eng le lona le SANRAL are you doing in order to promote us companies tse di fitla mo gore le rona re kgono re challenge makgoa a ka gore ke bona vele ke makgoa fela. Ra understand all of that, but where do we fit in your picture to re fita kae gona mo? Yes, the grade 1 di teng, grade 2 di teng, la re ska lwa le bona. But yet you are having the experience, una le everything here, and then how bereke. Gore re lona, you have an obligations to take us. Re ska lwa le bona, it's true. Le bona ba kgone fitla ko ba fitlang ko teng, right? Le re tseyeng le rona and say, I re not say JV or what. Some kind of a program more na re kgone itse re le mo ditseleng, tshwantse re go etsiwe byang, how is it going? All those things. A second one that isn't a concern. Rutla gote go na le a PLC. Now, Ronare Chamber, we comprise of different locations. Ari itse a PLC, a appointileng, ari itse le motho a teng ne re share le mo group ba ntshitse picture ba ntse ba na re dimane ke mang na re ke mang dimane. So now it's very important, critically. It means that whatever opportunities will come, Rona as botle here, there's a possibility it will not reach us. That is why when I was in the meeting, I asked questions and it was true. I was not trying to be funny. I said, okay, la rona le project so batho ba ba hirilwe ko kae? Because that means the information, it circulates between certain people and Rona region. So we are having a serious concern as a chamber to say, that person, because normally when the PLC, a project starts or commences, there are names handed in from different communities. So different communities can reach that information. So I get check and learn na PLC, I get out the rest of the people here. I address you.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Noted. So I'm going to start with your last part in terms of the PLC. When we formed the PLC, we came to the municipality. Mayor Justina was still the mayor in 2018. That's when we formed the PLC. So what we do as SANRAL is we come to SANRAL, to the municipality. We give them the composition of the PLC. They need to then go and engage those stakeholders and bring back names. So in terms of business, the name that was given for that will represent the interests of the business, Nelly Berry. We also had the discussion when we had the meeting with the municipality last week. So it has come to our attention that many people don't know who is Berry. Many people don't even know that their interest is represented by Berry. So I did say to the municipality that we need to re-engage so that we can re-nominate someone that everybody will. So all of you, I did say that we will come back to them. Then they must engage all business forums or chambers within Madibeng so that they nominate one person. So I have noted that and we will rectify that. In terms of the first one, I have noted, I'm not sure if Chair wants to add something or it's covered. Okay, we are covered as well. e re ke tla ya kwa, and then wena o tla ya kwa morao. Do you want to add something to the previous? Okay, just hold on. Sorry. The administrator just wants it, Mr. Maseko, ne?
If I want for chance in Exo Patel. Judah, Bakaisu, man, what I'm going to say is the truth. And he hurt and it affected the black nation. When I arrived here at December as an administrator, some of you said, when I mentioned the name of other organizations, what a youth. That's division. That's division on its own. Man, as black people, we are not united. Also, Evelyn, the big fives are there because they're united. You are even divided in your business chambers. But why are you hating each other? Who are reunited? So those nations are where they are because they are united. And in 2019, before when we form a stokvel, an organization, the first question is, you among chairman, you among treasurer. But the positions more than taking the organization forward. So what I'm driving at, please look at yourself first. What do I want to achieve? And please, before you lead, be led first and learn. So we always wanted to be led. When I do the elections, hey, man. Hey, and it's one of the positions in. So all what I'm requesting, just practice unity. And have, if you've got a vision, forget a position, just lay a copy lemo. Was it was the thing at 26%? When the PEE came. How pula such and such, the advertising company. Some black people in that company, no, Masoko has to be bad, let's come for 26%. Jealousy again. All what I'm begging, man, let's as a black nation, banabatar into, rebupaning and cut jealousy out. Retlabali the big five.
Okay, I've noted now that it's 10-1, so I'm just going to take the last 3 hands. So I've noted the gentleman there, and there was that hand there. And then, okay. But okay, I'm just going to limit it to 1, 1, 1, 1. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. Those are the last 4 hands. We are comfortable. I'm sure we are all hungry now. So I'm going to start here. It will be 1, 2, 3, and then 4 ukomrao. Yeah. So those are the last 4 hands, and then I'm closing it. Oh.
Thank you so much. Excuse me? Thank you so much, Program Director. Let me just greet the panel that's sitting before us here. I just have 2 issues that I want to put on the table. One, I'm not even going to ask for a response on. It's the issue activation PE status for grade 1 contractors in relation to the coming contracts to SANRAL. I think that will relate specifically to PAC and the project manager. No, not CIDB, it's yours. Remember, the CIDB explained quite clearly, yes, no, we don't want an explanation. We want to, yes, we want the activation for the grade 1 contractors so that when we leave here, it is a resolution of this meeting that grade 1 contractors will be given that activation status so that they are able to perform grade 2 responsibilities. Because look, accommodation here is for grade 2s, and I believe we had a discussion in that virtual meeting that we held, and it was unclear, it was open-ended the way we closed the issue of the grade 1 contractors. So CIDB has just given us a solution that it is actually something that is at your behest to say, no, we will then activate the PE status, then grade 1 contractors can implement the grade 2. So if we can just leave here with that as a resolution. And then I think to pursue again, and maybe just for the board to note it, on the issue of materials, I just want to make a proposal, because there were projects that were implemented here at the N4, and people were given packages. The value of the projects was sitting at about 5 million, 2.5 million, 1.8 million. But at the end of the day, when you checked what the contractors came out with, it was next to nothing. It wasn't even an actual percentage of those projects. It was below 1% when you actually checked. And when you went further into detail and checked the reasons for these outcomes, it's specifically things like the distribution of raw materials on site for the performance of particular responsibilities or pursuing particular targets. Why? Because you see, when you are given a contract to carry out a certain responsibility on a project, you should be able to determine your own productivity levels. Now, when you are dependent on someone to purchase material for you, and the material does not come in time, you have a problem, because you can't dictate, because the money is not in your pocket. Now, a lot of those people that were given those packages on the N4 were hit hard with productivity penalties by the actual contractors. And they ended up having so many deductions that they actually made no money out of those particular packages that were given. So now, my proposal in trying to resolve this, and as I said, I don't think it needs a response now, it's a proposal that I'm making that for you to go back and look at. We'd like to request that as you did with your Caterpillars, your Pallowells and others, go to raw materials providers, talk to them, and let us agree. I mean, your responsibility, and I think that Matosa put it out and outlined it quite clearly, that you want to develop us, and the chair emphasized saying that, no, we know that you don't have money, so what they are doing is actually counterproductive. So what we are saying is that you as SANRAL should come up with some sort of mechanism that you put into the contract, the final contract that you agree to with that particular service provider, to say, look, we will make arrangements with materials providers, and let our patela ka di-session. All we need to do is just go there as and when we need materials, or place our own order, so that we can determine our own productivity levels. Because in that, if we don't do it like that, then we are left at the mercy of the main contractor. If they feel or no materials are not enough, they will procure for themselves, and Rona will be always at the bottom rung of the ladder in terms of receiving materials. So I would like to propose that be given a quick responsibility. And to the CIDB, Julicia, just 1 minute. I think, just 1 minute, Ntateko CIDB, I think a lot of issues have been raised about accessibility, because I think the main issue here, and they raise the majority of the speakers, the question is accessibility. The issue online registration and so on and so forth. Yes, people like many Baba Dutsimo, they will have access to those things and so on. But consider creating an office, a satellite office here, so that really easy access to Lona Rokonoli Vitel Lagaburipan. From Madibeng Black Business Chamber. Thank you so much.
Dumelang ba bohle. O bua ngo ke Tsholofelo Mae from Madibeng Black Business Chamber. Barapesi. Nentse ke lebeletse your possible SME package list. And Ruben who mentioned taba ya di road marking and signage. Re khopela we lokele, because you find out hore mo Madibeng re na le di business companies le horeng le tsona they can do road markings. And then o kra contractor e tha go SANRAL e re ena o prefera Van Niekerk or whoever. So le rona re kopela o ketse package ya hao, then le lokele signage le di road markings. Thank you.
Noted, thank you. One, two, three, four.
Okay, ke dumedisa ba botlhe here in this house today. Speaker, transversal issues officer. I've seen here hore honale this party ebola di CPG contract participation goals. It's community participation. I'm so very much interested more because of another deal the marginalized groups in this municipality. So it does accommodate the marginalized groups. So it says, it talks about the target labor, it talks about the target enterprise. So that means this thing, it is compulsory to any contractor appointed. It must be clear. And if ever there's a contractor who doesn't comply with this thing, you must tell us today what will happen to that contractor. And then thirdly, I was just proposing to the chair of the board, at least each and every project, let us have a skills development program so that we could be able to assist our young people, our women to be skilled, any skills contracting. Lastly, I just want to check issue of value for money. If ever for the monitoring evaluation purposes, if ever there's a road early building, it will last for 5 years. But unfortunately, within 2 years, what is the consequence management around that matter? Thank you very much.
All right, thank you so much. I'll respond to mainly the concerns raised by this gentleman from the Black Business Chamber. Judah, yes. Hi, Judah, yes. So in terms of CRDB, grade 1 CEPE, you're saying that we should find a way to amend what we currently have on our contracts to allow them to participate on grade 2 level work. Yeah, so that doesn't need a resolution. That's what we did on the 511. The PLC also has some powers whereby they were able to include grade 1s into all the projects. So I'll just put it on my notes so that for every PLC that we formulate for each project, I bring across this point where it needs to cover grade 1 CEs or stroke PE grading. So that's fine. And then the second one was the material challenges which were stated today. As I said, in some instances we have proposed to the contractor to make advance payments, Chair, to these companies. And obviously there's always a lack of trust between the main contractor and a new subcontractor that they need to work with. If you pay the gentleman, will he still be on site tomorrow? So those are the issues that makes it difficult to make advance payments to subcontractors. So what we can do, I can take this up with my colleagues in transformation. I think that's honestly what I can say at this stage, to say, look, we need to set up MOUs with material suppliers in a specific region, let's call it Madibeng, whereby through sessions, so I agree with you, if a session is something that is contractually allowed within our contracts at SANRAL, and if approved by transformation, if approved by our own internal stakeholders, we can set up MOUs and have sessions in place to start paying material suppliers directly instead of paying them through the contractor certificate. The challenge, though, is you also need an MOU with CIDB to recognize those payments as contributions to the subcontractors. So I think it's a joint effort between SANRAL, CIDB, and the material suppliers, where you need to be credited for that amount. If I buy material for 100,000, does it go towards your measurement for upgrading? And then the other question was adding road marking and signs to projects. So that's an indication, it's not low. So on the 511, our signage subcontractor is local. Our road marking subcontractor is local from Madibeng. Our asphalt paving team is local from Madibeng. So I think for the future of other future presentations, I'll just add all the list. And so you can actually do anything. It was just an indication. I think the rest is covered.
Ke Mozwaki Mazibuko. ba mitse ka bote. Ke na le potso e one. Hona ba no le teng ke SANRAL le CIDB. Ka boshiu lo tse tsotlhe tse lo reng di a bolediwa mo. Ke sure hore le e one ona e one e tlo implementiwa. Because of Rabitsi wa mo Madibeng, I don't think le na ba ntla ba hore le tle mo le tlo isa di hopes tsa rena go dimo hore re tlo empowereha really di small businessmen. Ko tlwela buti kwa bolela a tshea a re di black chamber ke tse dintšhi, di chamber tse nkare ke tse dintšhi. Gore ho be ho qene ho nna le di chamber tse dintšhi, a se ntho e re tsogileng ra e nahana ra ro create chamber. Ke di opportunities tse le re bonang hore di a re misa, di a re tlola, but yet really di beneficiary tsa di project hore empowerment e le horeng e re lebana. But at the end, the opportunities tsa teng di na le mabitso, di na le difane. That's why ka tjeko re na le di group tse dintšhi, re na le forum, re na le di chamber, re na le ding. So ne ke plead ka tjeko ke kopela hore tsotlhe tse lone le re biditse tsona ka tjeko mo. Ke kopela le di be le transparency, so because of after if project e ke ya 5 years ho ka irahala hore le 5 years e sa feta because of like maybe ba bang ba ba loreng ga ba teng mo ba feel as if like ba temile opportunity because of le rena re krile re feta ka tsela. So ne ke khopela hore Central mo le le CIDB hore next time he batla ka something se sebana if only ka nnete re di beneficiary and then ka nnete ba nya go empowera rena di local businessmen, please etsang hore re khono kreya message o ka nako and then whatever se le tlo se bolelang please se implemente le sa bolela fela ka molomo.
Noted, thank you. Let me sanitize you. Thank you. So we have a situation here. We have procured catering locally. Bargi Viola Mang? Interior services, catering services. Yeah, so Dijo was supposed to be here at 12:30 and I have the phone. So I receive yeah, it's a situation.
No, I have.
Oh, okay.
Hello, Dumelang. My name is Edwin. Now I've got one question to SANRAL board regarding what are the assurances that you give to subcontractors when they are contracted to main contractors in these projects, because you come to a point whereby you find out that the main contractor struggles with the payments and all those things due to the dispute with SANRAL and the contractor. What are the assurances that you give subcontractors that they get their money? Should they be those kind of dispute between SANRAL and the contractor? Because you get to a point where you find that a subcontractor bought material, did all this, they invested in a project, but there are kind of those delays where you're not getting paid for over a time. And I think that the time where your lead time that you take to resolve this process of dispute, I think it's 30 days. And the challenges that we as subcontractors face down below is we've got employees that we need to pay, all those things. So if only you could give us an answer as to how do you deal with such, because the 30% that you're talking about, it's not us, the subcontractors, that go out and say we need 30%. It's something that SANRAL as a government came with and say, okay, we're gonna give 30% to each and every project. So you initiated that, and also it should be you who should give assurance to us subcontractors. So.
All right, Edwin, yeah, I knew you'd ask this one. Okay. Pertaining to the current challenge, it will be resolved by end of October. I think going forward, what I can say is the way these contracts are structured, it's truly at the mercy of the main contractor, I must be honest, in terms of the CIDB subcontracting model. So it's, again, we are forced to pay the main contractor who then pays you. So I think what I'll do going forward, because I see that it's a big issue that has taken place, at least within Madibeng, for as long as I've been here, it will have to be resolved within the PLC for the project. And one of the mechanisms one can do is to make sure that before you pay the proceeding certificate to the main contractor, he may have to produce proof that he has paid all the subbies, of which if he does not do that, we will not pay him, and he'll incur the penalties for standing time if he doesn't do any work. So I think there are contractual maneuverings that we can do locally to ensure that if the PLC says within 10 days of paying the main contractor, we want proof that our subbies have been paid, else we threaten with the following, then that's what needs to happen. So I think this is something that going forward, I will not take lightly and in good faith just pay a main contractor and then only to be told after 6 months that actually subcontractors may have been paid, but they were either short paid or paid twice for the same invoice, or they were delayed by 3 months before they could get their money. So I take note of these concerns, Edwin, and I'll make sure that they're part of the PLC resolutions when we do projects. Thanks.
Yeah, Bagaetsho, the issue, yeah, a satellite office is something very close to my heart. Thanks, my leader, for raising it. Let me just give you a likely scenario. What we are doing at the moment with Rustenburg local municipality, we are currently setting up a one-stop shop whereby various entities will be represented at that particular office, a one-stop shop. CIDB is one of the entities, I think Standard Bank, and other various entities. So it is my wish as a representative of CIDB in the province that all provincial local entities, local municipalities should have CIDB representation within the close proximity of their people in that particular area. And I'm saying to Madibeng local municipality, there is a possibility, there is a need to have that kind of a satellite office within Madibeng. And we as the CIDB, it's something that we are prepared to look into and to talk about. And since SANRAL is one of the participants within, I'm sure they may consider taking that undertaking together with CIDB and the municipality in terms of the formation of the satellite office. Thank you.
Okay. Chair, any last words? Okay, so Rico, vote of thanks. I just want to find out, did we get hold of? Not yet. Yeah, so lunch was supposed to be here at 12:30. Remufoneche me Viola, Arabi di Kolo. So I'm just trying to find out, but I'm sure by the time her closer, we'll get hold of her. If not, we'll take it forward. Yes, sir. No. So this is how SANRAL works. They give us a database of catering, PA system, cleaning and fumigation, security and whatever. And then we send requests out to them. And then we get 3 quotes. From 3 quotes, we appoint the cheapest one. So that's our process. Okay. So vote of thanks, the MMC.
Dumelang hape baetso. Le kae hape re teng. E re ke leboge. Mara ntse ke leboga mo ke batlo etsa di submission. Re na le chairperson a boto ya SANRAL today. So we are very lucky. O reporta ko minister ka mkhwa bolela. Okay. So, where side submission na hore, ne re kopa hore 30% e nne 40%. Where side? So, ra kopa, hore ha le ko botong, le ba botsa hore 30% ha e sa re lekana, re kopa 40%. Di tla etsa ke re ba hone. And then another thing, re kopa hore, bjanong ke a le buelela, Ruben Nielsen, re kopa hore kanye ya di-tender hore how tender is a contract e be le lebella issue ya value for le lebella value rent value le sa lebelle hore motho o tlo etsa mmereko ke nagana hore ke one of the things e leng hore ya re bola ya ka setse ba buile if the contractor wa tla o ko tlase tlase a re lori ya ka ke batla ka 150 a ke re ko tlase ha tsena mo Madibeng lori ke 250 10 cube so go ra gore automatically that person a ka se kgone etsa mmereko ka re o tenderile ko tlase so ne ke re le lebelle le se ka lebella fela gore ke 200,000 e re savile mo le lebelle le gore ka nnete mmereko o tlo tswela pele pamponneke le yona ya R512 re nnile le mathata a tshwanang le yao so we don't want to repeat the same mistake lebellang nka tla ka re 100 million project e le ya 300 million e be le I'm not going to finish the project so please ha re lebella le ska lebella tšhelete fela le lebelle le gore go na le di-subcontract especially di-subcontract ka re utlwe ba ba bola ha o reng au Sevelina o ntsha BOQ re wa bona nna ke tenderile ka 150 le wena ke batlo fa 150 which is incorrect so re a kopela mo vote of thanksgiving but otherwise issue ya PLC since ke tsena yana ba nkadimile position ya 3 months yana ke ya bako I've been complaining of this PLC or no the message doesn't get to the people so I think department ya LED ba teng again together le department ya roads we must fix this issue as soon as possible so that we all get relevant messages. Alam papatel matso mara ke itse submission tse le otherwise Bra Jeffrey CIBD SANRAL as a whole both we are honored Madibeng officials and different business formations NAFCOF ne NAFCOC the Black Business Madibeng Business Forum officials re ska le bala ba di camera bo Bra KG mo le Retere and everybody re a leboga for this participation we wish gore le project e tlang ya January re kopela gore before e commence e be re nnile le di briefing tse di bjane re khone o tlhaloganya all of us e ska nna gore mara one thing e leng gore ntate we gateletse please paperwork ha o ha isa dumele o lokisa ko CIDB kwale o tle pila o le ready so we thank you.
Mar ke batla ho checka, doesn't anyone here know Me Viola? Eh? So while is mo trial mo phone ha arabe di phone oh la motsebe a le tsebe someone that she's always with yeah